Over 60, 4 worst vegetables you should never touch and 4 you must eat. Not all vegetables are created equal, especially as we age. Some can harm your joints and energy levels. Discover the 4 veggies to avoid and the 4 you should embrace. The last one might surprise you. Wisdom Essential. We commence this crucial journey into the heart of nutritional discernment, not by demonizing any food group wholesale, nor by offering simplistic universal edicts, but by cultivating a profound appreciation for the necessity of wisdom and individualized understanding, especially as we traverse the honorable path beyond 60 years of life. The human body, a miraculous and ever-adapting organism, undergoes significant transformations with the passage of decades. Our digestive capacities may shift, our nutrient absorption can become less efficient, our hormonal landscapes evolve, our inflammatory responses may be more easily triggered, and our resilience to certain food components or environmental stressors might naturally diminish. It is within this rich context of age-related physiological evolution that our approach to nourishment must also evolve, moving beyond the broad strokes of general dietary recommendations that often cater to a younger, more robust demographic, towards a more refined, sophisticated, and deeply personalized strategy. The notion that a vegetable is a vegetable is a vegetable, and that all are equally and unconditionally beneficial for every senior, is a well-intentioned oversimplification that can, in some instances, lead to an inadvertent undermining of health goals. While it remains an undeniable truth that a diet abundant in a wide variety of plant foods is foundational to vitality and longevity, the selection, preparation, and combination of these foods, particularly for those of us with 6 or more decades of life experience, demand a heightened level of conscious awareness and informed choice. This is not about instilling fear or promoting unnecessary dietary restrictions that could lead to nutritional deficiencies or a diminished joy in eating. Rather, it is an invitation to embrace a deeper level of nutritional intelligence, to learn to listen with profound acuity to the subtle and sometimes not so subtle signals our bodies provide in response to what we consume. It is about understanding that certain compounds naturally present in some vegetables, or the ways in which these vegetables are often cultivated or prepared in our modern food system, might pose unique challenges or offer specific benefits that become particularly relevant in our senior years. The regret that can surface later in life often stems not from a lack of effort in trying to eat healthily, but from a lack of nuanced understanding, from having followed generalized advice without considering how it applies to one's own unique constitution, pre-existing health conditions, medication regimens, or specific sensitivities that may have developed or become more pronounced with age. Therefore, this exploration into worst and must-eat vegetables for seniors is not intended as a rigid set of rules to be blindly followed, but as a catalyst for deeper inquiry, a guide to help you refine your nutritional intuition, and a call to cultivate a partnership with your body based on wisdom, respect, and a continuous learning process. This empowered discernment is the very essence of eating for optimal health and vibrant aging. Corn Conundrum Caution. Let us now turn our discerning gaze towards our first vegetable category that, while a beloved staple in many cuisines and a significant agricultural commodity, warrants considerable caution, especially for seniors striving for optimal health and seeking to minimize inflammatory burdens and metabolic dysregulation. Corn, particularly in its modern, often highly processed or genetically modified iterations. While traditional, heritage varieties of corn, consumed in moderation as part of a diverse, whole foods diet by populations with robust digestive systems, may have offered certain nutritional contributions. The corn that dominates much of our contemporary food supply presents a more complex and often problematic picture for the aging body. One primary concern revolves around the fact that a very large percentage of corn grown today is genetically modified, GM, to be herbicide resistant, e.g. Roundup Ready corn, or to produce its own insecticide, Bt corn. While the debate around the long-term health effects of GM foods is ongoing and complex, there are legitimate concerns among many holistic practitioners and cautious consumers regarding the potential for these genetic alterations and the associated pesticide residues, like glyphosate, the active ingredient in Roundup, to impact gut health, trigger inflammatory responses, or act as endocrine disruptors. For seniors whose gut lining may already be more permeable, leaky gut, and whose detoxification systems may be less efficient, chronic exposure to these residues and novel proteins could contribute to a state of low-grade systemic inflammation, which is a known driver of virtually all age-related chronic diseases, including heart disease, arthritis, and cognitive decline. Beyond the GM issue, corn is a grain, not technically a vegetable in the way leafy greens or cruciferous vegetables are, and it is relatively high in starchy carbohydrates. For many seniors, particularly those managing blood sugar levels, pre-diabetes, type 2 diabetes, or carrying excess weight, a high intake of starchy foods like corn, especially in processed forms like corn syrup, cornstarch, corn chips, or even large servings of sweet corn, can lead to significant spikes in blood glucose and insulin. Over time, this pattern contributes to insulin resistance, exacerbates metabolic dysfunction, and places a considerable strain on the pancreas, further increasing the risk of cardiovascular complications and other chronic conditions. Corn also contains compounds called lectins, which are carbohydrate-binding proteins that can be difficult for some individuals to digest and, in those with sensitivities or compromised gut health, may contribute to intestinal irritation, increased gut permeability, and inflammation. While cooking can reduce lectin activity to some extent, individuals with known lectin sensitivities or autoimmune conditions often find they feel better avoiding or significantly limiting corn. Furthermore, corn, particularly when it is not organic, can be subject to mold contamination, mycotoxins like aflatoxins, both in the field and during storage, especially if not dried and stored properly. These mycotoxins can be very harmful to liver health and immune function, and seniors may be more vulnerable to their effects. Finally, corn is often a hidden ingredient in countless processed foods, in the form of corn syrup, corn oil, cornstarch, maltodextrin, often corn-derived, and various other derivatives. This ubiquitous presence means that many people are consuming far more corn-based products than they realize, contributing to a diet that is often high in refined carbohydrates, unhealthy fats, in the case of corn oil used for frying, and pro-inflammatory compounds. The plea, therefore, is not necessarily for a complete and absolute banishment of all corn for every senior, especially if it's organic. Non-GM sweet corn enjoyed occasionally as part of a balanced meal. However, it is an earnest call for extreme caution and a significant reduction in the consumption of conventional GM corn and, most importantly, the vast array of processed foods that contain corn derivatives. For seniors seeking to reduce inflammation, stabilize blood sugar, support gut health, and minimize exposure to potential toxins, viewing corn with a healthy dose of skepticism and choosing less problematic whole food carbohydrate sources is a wise and heart-healthy strategy. Soybean scrutiny caution. Our journey of discernment now leads us to another widely consumed legume, often presented as a health food and a staple in vegetarian and vegan diets, yet one that requires careful scrutiny and significant caution for many seniors, particularly concerning its hormonal impact, goitrogenic potential, and the prevalence of genetic modification and processing, soybeans and unfermented soy products. While traditional fermented soy foods like natto, miso, tempeh, and traditionally brewed soy sauce have a long history of use in Asian cultures and may offer certain health benefits due to the transformation that occurs during fermentation, which neutralizes some anti-nutrients and creates beneficial probiotics. The unfermented soy products that have flooded the Western market: soy milk, tofu, unless specifically fermented, soy protein isolate, textured vegetable protein, TVP, soy burgers, soy cheese, soy oil, and countless processed foods containing soy derivatives present a very different and often more problematic profile for the aging body. A primary area of concern revolves around the phytoestrogens found in soybeans, particularly compounds called isoflavones, genistein and daidzein. These plant-based estrogens can bind to estrogen receptors in the human body and exert either weak estrogenic or anti-estrogenic effects, depending on the individual's hormonal status and the specific tissue. For seniors whose own hormonal landscapes are naturally shifting, introducing large amounts of these external phytoestrogens, especially from concentrated soy protein isolates found in many processed foods and supplements, can potentially disrupt delicate hormonal balances. There are ongoing debates and complex research regarding soy's impact on thyroid health, reproductive hormones, even in postmenopausal women and older men who still produce and require balanced sex hormones for overall well-being, and even cognitive function. For individuals with pre-existing thyroid conditions, particularly hypothyroidism or Hashimoto's thyroiditis, the goitrogenic compounds also found in soybeans, similar to those in cruciferous vegetables but potentially more potent in unfermented soy, can interfere with thyroid hormone synthesis, especially if iodine intake is not optimal. Given that thyroid health is crucial for metabolism, energy, and cardiovascular function in seniors, this is a significant consideration. Furthermore, like corn, a vast majority of soybeans grown today are genetically modified to be herbicide resistant. This means they are typically sprayed with herbicides like glyphosate, residues of which can remain in the final product. Concerns about the impact of these GM soy varieties and pesticide residues on gut health, systemic inflammation, and endocrine disruption are similar to those raised for GM corn, and seniors may be more vulnerable. Soybeans also contain relatively high levels of phytic acid, an anti-nutrient that can bind to minerals like calcium, magnesium, iron, and zinc in the digestive tract, potentially reducing their absorption. While proper preparation methods like soaking, sprouting, and fermentation can significantly reduce phytic acid levels, many commercially produced unfermented soy products do not undergo these traditional processing steps. For seniors who may already be at risk for mineral deficiencies due to reduced absorption or inadequate intake, this can be a concern for bone health, immune function, and overall vitality. Additionally, soy contains trypsin inhibitors, which can interfere with protein digestion. Again, heat processing and fermentation can deactivate these, but their presence in less processed or improperly prepared unfermented soy products could contribute to digestive discomfort for some individuals. The plea regarding soybeans is not a blanket condemnation of all soy for all seniors. Small amounts of organic, traditionally fermented soy foods may be well tolerated and even beneficial for some. However, it is an urgent call for extreme caution and significant reduction, if not outright avoidance, of unfermented, highly processed and genetically modified soy products that are so prevalent in modern diets. For seniors seeking to support their hormonal balance, thyroid health, nutrient absorption, and minimize exposure to potential irritants and GM organisms, carefully scrutinizing labels for soy ingredients and opting for whole, unprocessed, and preferably fermented soy, if consumed at all, in great moderation is a vital step towards protecting their delicate health in the golden years. Raw spinach overload, caution. We now turn our attention to a leafy green vegetable that is almost universally lauded as a nutritional superstar, packed with vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. Yet one that, when consumed in very large quantities in its raw state, can present certain challenges for seniors, particularly concerning oxalate load and its potential impact on mineral absorption and kidney health: spinach. While cooked spinach in moderation is a valuable addition to most diets, the modern trend of consuming vast amounts of raw spinach, often blended into daily green smoothies or eaten in oversized salads, warrants a more discerning perspective, especially for older adults. The primary concern with excessive raw spinach intake revolves around its exceptionally high content of oxalic acid, or oxalates. As we have previously touched upon, oxalates are naturally occurring compounds that can bind with minerals, most notably calcium, to form calcium oxalate crystals. For individuals who are high absorbers of oxalate or those with a personal or family history of calcium oxalate kidney stones, the most common type, a diet consistently overloaded with high oxalate foods like raw spinach can significantly increase the risk of stone formation. Kidney stones are not merely painful. Recurrent stones can lead to urinary tract infections, blockages, and over time can impair overall kidney function. Given that healthy kidney function is absolutely crucial for cardiovascular health, as kidneys regulate blood pressure and fluid balance and filter waste, any factor that compromises kidney health can have negative downstream effects on the heart. Seniors may already have some age-related decline in kidney function or be taking medications that affect kidney performance, making them potentially more susceptible to the burdens of an oxalate overload. Furthermore, while spinach is rich in minerals like iron and calcium, the high oxalate content in its raw form can bind to these minerals within the digestive tract, making them less bioavailable for absorption by the body. This means that while spinach contains these nutrients, the body may not be able to effectively utilize all of them if consumed raw in very large quantities, especially if the diet is not otherwise well balanced. For seniors who are already at higher risk for deficiencies in minerals like calcium, important for bone health and cardiovascular function, and iron, important for energy and preventing anemia, this potential for reduced mineral absorption due to excessive raw oxalate intake is a pertinent consideration. It's important to reiterate that spinach is a highly nutritious vegetable. It offers vitamin K, crucial for bone health and blood clotting, though individuals on warfarin need to be consistent with their vitamin K intake, folate, vitamin A, vitamin C, magnesium, and beneficial phytonutrients. Cooking spinach through methods like steaming or light sautéing can significantly reduce its soluble oxalate content, as some oxalates leach into the cooking water, which can be discarded, thereby mitigating some of these concerns while still retaining many of its valuable nutrients. The plea here is not to avoid spinach entirely. That would be a nutritional disservice. However, it is an earnest caution against the daily habit of consuming very large quantities of raw spinach, particularly for seniors who may have kidney stone predispositions, known issues with mineral absorption, or compromised kidney function. Moderation is key. Enjoying cooked spinach as part of varied meals or small amounts of raw spinach in a mixed salad is generally fine for most, but the idea that more is always better does not apply when it comes to daily massive intakes of raw, high oxalate greens like spinach, especially for the discerning physiology of an older adult. A balanced approach, understanding both the benefits and potential downsides, allows spinach to remain a valuable friend to senior health. White potatoes unchecked, caution. Our final vegetable in the caution category is one of the world's most widely consumed staple foods, often viewed as a comforting and versatile ingredient, yet one that, particularly in the forms and quantities it is often eaten, can pose significant metabolic challenges for seniors, especially those concerned with blood sugar regulation, inflammation, and cardiovascular health. White potatoes and similar starchy varieties like red or russet potatoes, distinguishing them from the nutritionally different sweet potato. While whole, unprocessed potatoes, cooked healthily and consumed in modest portions as part of a balanced meal, can offer some nutrients like potassium and vitamin C. The dominant ways in which white potatoes feature in many Western diets are far less benign for the aging body. The primary concern with white potatoes is their high glycemic index, GI, and glycemic load, GL, meaning they can cause a rapid and significant spike in blood sugar and insulin levels after consumption, especially when eaten without sufficient fiber, protein, or healthy fats to slow down glucose absorption. For seniors, many of whom may already be dealing with some degree of insulin resistance, where the body's cells don't respond effectively to insulin, prediabetes, or diagnosed type 2 diabetes, this sharp rise in blood glucose is highly detrimental. Chronic exposure to these glucose surges damages blood vessels, promotes inflammation, contributes to weight gain as excess glucose is stored as fat, and places immense strain on the pancreas, to produce more insulin. All of these factors are direct contributors to the development and progression of cardiovascular disease, including atherosclerosis, heart attacks, and strokes. Even for seniors without diagnosed diabetes, consistently consuming high GI foods like white potatoes in large amounts can push them towards metabolic dysfunction over time. The way white potatoes are typically prepared and consumed often exacerbates these issues. French fries and potato chips, deep fried in unhealthy vegetable oils, are not only high GI but also laden with inflammatory fats, trans fats in some cases, acrylamides, a potential carcinogen formed during high heat cooking of starchy foods, and excessive sodium, a truly heart-damaging combination. Mashed potatoes, while seemingly innocuous, are often prepared with large amounts of butter, cream, and salt, adding significant saturated fat and sodium. Baked potatoes can be healthy on their own, but frequently become vehicles for unhealthy toppings like cheese sauce, sour cream, bacon bits, and excessive salt. Even simply boiled or steamed potatoes, if consumed in large portions as the primary carbohydrate source, in a meal without adequate accompanying fiber-rich vegetables or lean protein, can still elicit a substantial blood sugar response in sensitive individuals. White potatoes also contain glycoalkaloids, primarily solanine and chaconine, concentrated in the skin and any green parts, which should always be discarded. While usually present in safe amounts, these can be toxic in very high doses and may cause digestive upset or neurological symptoms in some sensitive individuals if they consume large quantities of potatoes that have been improperly stored or have started to sprout. The plea here is not for an absolute prohibition of white potatoes for every senior. A small portion of a simply cooked organic potato enjoyed occasionally as part of a fiber-rich balanced meal is unlikely to cause significant harm for most healthy individuals. However, it is an urgent call for seniors, particularly those with any metabolic concerns or cardiovascular risk factors, to significantly reduce their reliance on white potatoes as a staple carbohydrate, to be extremely cautious about portion sizes, and to scrupulously avoid the unhealthy processed forms like fries, chips, and heavily adulterated preparations. Opting instead for lower GI, more nutrient-dense complex carbohydrates like sweet potatoes in moderation, quinoa, brown rice in moderation, legumes, and an abundance of non-starchy vegetables is a far wiser strategy for supporting stable blood sugar, reducing inflammation, and protecting the precious health of the aging heart. This discerning shift can make a world of difference. Leafy greens power must eat. Having navigated the terrain of vegetables that warrant caution for seniors, let us now turn our hearts and minds towards those botanical champions that unequivocally deserve a revered and abundant place in the daily nourishment of every individual over 60, leafy green vegetables. This diverse and vibrant category, encompassing stalwarts like kale, cooked appropriately as discussed with goitrogens, collard greens, Swiss chard, mindful of oxalates for sensitive individuals but immensely beneficial for most, mustard greens, turnip greens, bok choy, arugula, romaine lettuce, and many others, with cooked spinach in moderation also fitting here for its nutrient density when oxalates are managed, represents one of nature's most potent offerings for promoting longevity, vitality, and robust cardiovascular health in our golden years. Why are leafy greens so fundamentally essential? Firstly, they are extraordinarily nutrient-dense, meaning they provide a vast spectrum of essential vitamins, minerals, and phytonutrients for very few calories. They are exceptional sources of vitamin K, crucial for proper blood clotting and bone health. Seniors need to maintain consistency if on warfarin, but vitamin K is vital. They are rich in folate, a B vitamin critical for cardiovascular health. It helps to metabolize homocysteine, an amino acid linked to increased heart disease risk when elevated, cognitive function, and cellular repair. They provide significant amounts of vitamin A as beta-carotene, vitamin C, magnesium, essential for heart rhythm, blood pressure regulation, and muscle function. Potassium helps to counterbalance sodium and support healthy blood pressure. And calcium, particularly in greens like kale and collards. Secondly, leafy greens are packed with powerful antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds. The chlorophyll that gives them their green color, along with carotenoids like lutein and zeaxanthin, famous for eye health but also systemic antioxidants, flavonoids, and polyphenols, all work synergistically to combat oxidative stress, neutralize damaging free radicals, and quell the chronic, low-grade inflammation that underlies so many age-related diseases, including heart disease, arthritis, and dementia. By reducing inflammation and oxidative damage, leafy greens help to protect the delicate lining of our blood vessels, the endothelium, maintain arterial flexibility, and prevent the buildup of atherosclerotic plaques. Thirdly, these greens are an excellent source of dietary fiber, both soluble and insoluble. Fiber is crucial for digestive health, promoting regularity and feeding beneficial gut bacteria. A healthy gut microbiome is increasingly recognized as vital for overall health, including immune function, inflammation modulation, and even mood and cognitive health, all relevant to well-being in seniors. Soluble fiber, in particular, can help to lower LDL, bad cholesterol levels, and improve blood sugar control by slowing down glucose absorption. Fourthly, many leafy greens contain naturally occurring nitrates, different from the problematic nitrates added to processed meats. Dietary nitrates can be converted in the body to nitric oxide, a crucial molecule that helps to relax and dilate blood vessels, thereby improving blood flow, lowering blood pressure, and enhancing cardiovascular function. This is particularly beneficial for seniors, as nitric oxide production tends to decline with age. The earnest plea here is to make leafy green vegetables a non-negotiable, abundant, and joyful cornerstone of your daily diet. Aim to include several servings every day. Enjoy them lightly steamed, sautéed in a little healthy oil like olive oil with garlic, added to soups and stews, or as the base of vibrant salads with healthy dressings. For seniors who may find chewing tougher greens difficult, chopping them finely, cooking them until tender, or even blending them into smoothies, in moderation and balanced with other ingredients, can make them more accessible. The variety within the leafy green family is immense, so explore different types to keep your meals interesting and to benefit from the slightly different nutrient profiles each offers. Embracing the power of leafy greens is one of the most profound and scientifically supported nutritional strategies seniors can adopt to protect their heart, sharpen their mind, strengthen their bones, and cultivate a deep sense of vibrant well-being that can last a lifetime. They are truly nature's multivitamin and internal cleanser. Cruciferous champions must eat. We now celebrate another family of vegetables that stands as a veritable pillar of health, offering profound protective benefits that are especially pertinent for seniors seeking to fortify their bodies against chronic disease and maintain optimal cellular function: the cruciferous vegetables. This remarkable group includes broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, red and green, kale, also a leafy green, highlighting its dual power, collard greens, bok choy, radishes, turnips, arugula, and watercress. Their distinctive, sometimes slightly pungent or bitter flavors are a clue to their unique and powerful phytochemical content, particularly compounds called glucosinolates. When cruciferous vegetables are chopped, chewed, or digested, glucosinolates are converted into biologically active compounds like isothiocyanates, such as sulforaphane from broccoli and broccoli sprouts, and indole 3-carbinol. These compounds are where much of the magic of cruciferous vegetables lies, and they offer compelling reasons why these should be a must-eat for seniors. Firstly, these sulfur-containing compounds are incredibly potent activators of the body's natural detoxification pathways, particularly in the liver. They enhance the activity of phase 2 detoxification enzymes, which help to neutralize and eliminate harmful toxins, carcinogens, and metabolic byproducts from the system. For seniors whose detoxification capacity may naturally decline with age, supporting these pathways is crucial for reducing the body's toxic burden and protecting against cellular damage that can lead to chronic diseases, including certain cancers and conditions affecting the heart and brain. Secondly, Sulforaphane and related compounds have demonstrated powerful antioxidant and anti-inflammatory effects. They can activate the NRF2 pathway, often referred to as the master regulator of the antioxidant response, which upregulates the production of a wide range of endogenous antioxidant enzymes. This provides robust protection against oxidative stress, a key factor in aging and the development of cardiovascular disease, neurodegenerative conditions, and other age-related ailments. By quelling inflammation and oxidative damage, cruciferous vegetables help to maintain the health and integrity of blood vessels, support joint health, and protect brain cells. Thirdly, cruciferous vegetables are excellent sources of dietary fiber, contributing to digestive regularity, healthy blood sugar and cholesterol levels, and a thriving gut microbiome. They also provide a good array of vitamins and minerals, including vitamin C, vitamin K, folate, and potassium. Some research suggests that compounds in cruciferous vegetables may also support healthy hormone balance and possess properties that are protective against hormone-sensitive cancers. Regarding the goitrogen concern discussed earlier under cautionary aspects for raw consumption in specific contexts, it's vital to reiterate that for most seniors who have adequate iodine intake, consuming cooked cruciferous vegetables in normal dietary amounts is overwhelmingly beneficial and poses no significant risk to thyroid health. Cooking deactivates a large proportion of the goitrogenic compounds. The plea is to joyfully and regularly incorporate a variety of cooked cruciferous vegetables into your meals. Steamed broccoli or cauliflower, roasted Brussels sprouts, lightly sautéed kale or bok choy, shredded cabbage in slaws, with healthy dressings, or soups. The culinary possibilities are vast. Aiming for at least one serving of a cruciferous vegetable most days of the week can provide a significant boost to your body's protective mechanisms. Their slightly bitter notes can be beautifully balanced with other flavors. For seniors committed to proactive health and longevity, making friends with this champion family of vegetables is a delicious and profoundly wise strategy to support cellular resilience, detoxification, and a body better equipped to thrive through the golden years. They are nature's internal guardians. Alliums Active Must Eat. Our journey through nature's pharmacy brings us to another indispensable family of vegetables that have been revered for both their culinary zest and their profound medicinal properties for thousands of years across diverse cultures, and which remain critically important for senior health, particularly for cardiovascular protection and immune support. The allium vegetables. This potent group includes garlic, onions, yellow, red, white, shallots, scallions, spring onions, leeks, and chives. Their characteristic pungent aromas and flavors are due to a rich array of organic sulfur compounds, which are also the primary source of their remarkable health benefits. Why are alliums a must-eat for individuals over 60? Firstly, they are renowned for their powerful cardiovascular protective effects. Numerous studies have shown that regular consumption of garlic and onions can help to lower blood pressure, reduce LDL, bad cholesterol, and triglyceride levels, increase HDL, good cholesterol, and inhibit platelet aggregation, the stickiness of blood platelets, thereby reducing the risk of blood clot formation, atherosclerosis, heart attacks, and strokes. These effects are attributed to compounds like allicin, formed when garlic is crushed or chopped, ajoine, and various sulfides. For seniors who are at increased risk for cardiovascular events, incorporating alliums into their daily diet can be a simple yet potent natural strategy for supporting heart health. Secondly, alliums possess significant anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. The sulfur compounds, along with flavonoids like quercetin, especially abundant in onions, work to neutralize free radicals, protect cells from oxidative damage, and modulate inflammatory pathways. This is crucial for mitigating the chronic, low-grade inflammation associated with aging and many chronic diseases, including heart disease and arthritis. Thirdly, garlic and onions have a long history of use for their immune-boosting and antimicrobial properties. They can help to enhance the activity of immune cells and may offer protection against common infections, which can be more severe in older adults. A robust immune system is fundamental to overall well-being and resilience. Fourthly, some research suggests that compounds in alliums may have anti-cancer properties, potentially by inhibiting cancer cell proliferation, inducing apoptosis, programmed cell death of cancer cells, and supporting detoxification of carcinogens. While more research is always ongoing, the existing evidence is compelling for their role in a cancer-protective diet. Furthermore, alliums are good sources of certain vitamins and minerals, including vitamin C, vitamin B6, manganese, and selenium in garlic. They add immense flavor to food, which can be particularly helpful for seniors whose sense of taste may diminish with age, allowing for the creation of delicious and satisfying meals with less reliance on added salt or unhealthy fats for flavor. The plea is to embrace these flavorful powerhouses in your daily cooking. Use garlic and onions generously as the base for soups, stews, stir-fries, and sauces. Add chopped chives or scallions to salads, eggs, or as a garnish. Enjoy leeks in soups or braised dishes. The key to maximizing the benefits of garlic, particularly allicin formation, is to crush or chop it and let it sit for about 10-15 minutes before cooking at lower temperatures, as high heat can deactivate some of the beneficial compounds. However, even cooked alliums retain significant health properties. For seniors seeking to actively support their heart, bolster their immunity, and add a delicious health-promoting zing to their meals, the allium family offers a treasure trove of benefits. They are truly nature's aromatic protectors, working quietly but powerfully from within. Berry brightness, must eat. Our final category of must-eat plant foods for seniors, though technically fruits rather than vegetables in the botanical sense, are so packed with extraordinary health protective compounds, particularly for brain and heart health, that they absolutely demand inclusion in this vital discussion. Berries. This jewel-toned family, including blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, blackberries, cranberries, and others, represents one of nature's most potent sources of antioxidants and anti-inflammatory phytochemicals, making them indispensable allies for vibrant aging. Why are berries so essential for those of us over 60? Their most celebrated attribute is their exceptionally high antioxidant capacity, primarily due to a class of flavonoids called anthocyanins, which give them their rich red, blue, and purple hues. These anthocyanins, along with other polyphenols like ellagic acid and quercetin, are incredibly effective at neutralizing damaging free radicals that contribute to oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is a key driver of the aging process itself and underlies many chronic diseases prevalent in seniors, including cardiovascular disease by protecting blood vessels from damage and reducing LDL cholesterol oxidation, neurodegenerative conditions like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease by protecting brain cells from oxidative damage and inflammation, and even certain cancers. By consistently flooding the system with these powerful antioxidants, berries help to protect our cells, DNA, and vital organs from the ravages of time and environmental stressors. Secondly, berries have demonstrated significant anti-inflammatory effects. Chronic inflammation is a silent enemy for seniors, contributing to almost every age-related ailment. The phytochemicals in berries can help to modulate inflammatory pathways, down-regulating the production of pro-inflammatory signaling molecules and supporting a more balanced immune response. This can translate into reduced joint pain for those with arthritis, better endothelial function for heart health, and a healthier brain environment. Thirdly, research strongly suggests that regular berry consumption is beneficial for cognitive function and brain health, particularly in aging individuals. Studies have linked berry intake to improved memory, slower rates of cognitive decline, and enhanced neuronal communication. The compounds in berries appear to cross the blood-brain barrier and exert protective effects directly within the brain, potentially by reducing oxidative stress and inflammation, improving cerebral blood flow, and promoting neurogenesis, the growth of new brain cells. For seniors keen to maintain their mental acuity and protect against age-related cognitive decline, berries are a delicious and powerful brain food. Fourthly, berries are relatively low in calories and sugar compared to many other fruits, yet high in fiber, which aids in digestion, helps to regulate blood sugar levels, and contributes to satiety, assisting with weight management. They are also good sources of vitamin C and manganese. The plea is to incorporate a generous serving of mixed berries into your daily diet whenever possible. Enjoy them fresh when in season or frozen, which retains most of their nutritional value year-round. Add them to oatmeal, yogurt, unsweetened, smoothies, or simply enjoy them as a naturally sweet and satisfying snack.